In this video we're going to talk about board control on a deep water start. But first, what is a deep water start? A deep water start is when you get up on a wakeboard starting out with your board completely submerged underwater. A normal water start is when the rider lays back in the water with the toe side edge of the board showing above the water line right before getting up. Deep water starts are a little harder because you have to balance your board underwater before the boat tightens the rope and pulls you up. Once you've got the balance to easily keep your board underwater, you'll find that the deep water start is much smoother and less straining way to start on a wakeboard, as long as you know how to control your board. You can see in this clip Kyle is actually able to make himself elevate and descend during his deep water start. There is no reason why anyone would ever want to do this maneuver, but it's demonstrating how board control can make you rise and sink into the water. Let's take a closer look. You can see with this special picture-in-picture exactly what the board is doing underwater. By changing the angle of the board, he is in total control. The physics behind this aren't very complex, but you'd be surprised how many people, especially first-time riders, don't understand what's going on here. If you point the board down into a negative angle, you will sink. When you point the angle of the board up, the rider will rise out of the water. If you just keep the board flat and don't angle it in either a positive or negative direction, then you'll just stay at the same elevation. Think of these angles as ramps. When you go up a ramp, you elevate, and when you go down a ramp, you descend. The steeper the ramp, the faster, more dramatic the movement. But that doesn't mean that a steep upward angle is what we're looking for, as you'll see in this simulation. We set the board to an angle of 45 degrees. Once the boat starts pulling the rider, you'll notice there's a lot of resistance pushing on the bottom of the wakeboard. This requires more strength and energy to get up such a steep angle. If we drop the angle to just 10 degrees, you can see the board slices through the water with much less drag and resistance. This makes for an almost effortless deep water start, requiring much less strength and energy. So just remember, the more of an angle you put on the board, the more resistance you will feel from the water pushing on the bottom of your board. There is no time limit or window of opportunity to getting up on a wakeboard. Theoretically, you could just slowly coast up out of the water with only 1 degree of upward angle on the board if you wanted to. Well, I hope this helped you understand a little bit more about board control and board physics on a deep water start. These concepts will be worth their weight in gold next time you're teaching a first-timer out in the water.